I had this beautiful discussion with someone who has a farm here in Queensland, and I think it was worth something like $30 million. And they're coming up to retirement, and they said, look, none of our kids want to come back to the farm. And they said, so that makes it really easy for us. You know, we don't need to worry about succession. We don't need to worry about that. And my comment to them was, well, you've actually got a worse problem. And they looked at me and said, why have I got a worse problem? I said, well, you're, mid 50s. Let's say another 10 years, that 30 million doubles. Because on average, if you're getting roughly every 7 years, if you're getting a 7% return, your asset will double in every 10 years. So your 30 million in 10 years will be 60 million. You're 65. Let's say you live till you're 85, another 2 sessions. Well, that goes from 60 to 120 to 240 million. Now, we can all argue whether that mass will keep going down the track. Let's say we bring it back to 100 million even over the next 30 or 40 years, and your kids inherit $100 million off you. What the hell is that going to do to their lives? Are they going to have the skills to manage that money? And if they have got some idea, what about your grandkids? And so that money could actually become a curse. Whereas if it's tied up in a farm and someone inherits a farm, well then, it doesn't matter whether the farm's worth $10 million or $100 million. It's tied up in a farm, and it's what you can make off that asset. I think it's an awful problem that a lot of people aren't talking about. And so the number one problem is if you are going to sell the farm, or if you are going to do a succession and then transition cash or other assets to non-farm siblings, are they going to be prepared enough to deal with that $1 million, $10 million, $20 million, and what impact will it have on the family? And I'll give you an example. I had a mate of mine recently where his wife, her mum and dad sold the farm at 75, and they got $50 million for the cattle property. They deposited $14 million into her bank account.
Wow.
No idea how to manage it, no idea what to do, because mum and dad said, we don't need all this money, we'll hand some off to you with all good intention. He said, now we're sitting there with $14 million in the bank, we don't need to work, our kids don't need to work, and it's caused massive strain. So people aren't thinking through the next logical step, which is, we've got a succession plan on the farm, but what about the family wealth? And I want farmers and graziers to think more about wealth than farm. And I think when they start thinking about wealth and are we good custodians of the family wealth, that's when we get a paradigm shift and a change.